Hi, I'm Wayne Tuttle, and welcome to Chasing Legends.
So here we are in an undisclosed spot that nobody will ever reveal, correct? Nobody's going to talk about this spot. Nope. Maybe someday you can bring your friends here when we're all gone, okay? You can remember us. Build a fire. No? Okay. Let's have a beer in our memory. Anyhow, on my left, to your right, this is Randy Wright. Randy Wright is the reason I did Legend of the Superstition Mountains. Technically, the show was based on the two of us. So, and you hear me reference Randy all the time, and we're out here today with his son and Trevor, but it's kind of a neat thing that the backstory to all was it was me and you, and then we recommended Paul Shimmick.
Yeah.
And then they kind of grabbed up Frank and then decided to bring Woody in. And I didn't want nothing to do with it. Remember this?
Yep.
I didn't want to interview, have nothing to do with it. And I was
convince you to
driving
do it.
home from Scottsdale about 9, 10 o'clock at night from working. I'm tired. And he, for about an hour, just whined. You got to do it. You got to do it.
I don't know about whining.
It's all about our partnership. We're not going to get in the mountains as much. Remember all this?
Yes. I do. Absolutely.
And so he convinces me. I said, I'll do the interview. So I do the interview, and he's doing it, and we're getting these sheets with these different people's names. We're going, who the hell's that? They didn't like Shimmick for some reason.
Yeah,
So
I don't know why.
I don't know why. I thought
Paul's
he
a
was a
great
really good fit. He's from out of state, but he kind of has Dutch hunting roots. So I thought that would be the core three with Frank and Woody, and it makes sense because you kind of fit Deleel's. Paul in the research and technical side of things falls into that area for his background. And then Frank could take over metal detecting, Woody does prospecting, and it was really set.
Perfect.
So we get out the film, and I call Randy because I've signed all this stuff for A&E. And I call Randy and said, where are you? And what do you say?
At work.
Yeah.
Working. Where
So
are you?
Randy's suddenly not doing the show because they decide not to bring Randy, which it's supposed to be me and Randy. So Legend of Superstition Mountains is based, and even when you watch it, you can see they're basing characterizations on certain people.
Yeah.
And they had a guy before Deleel, his name was Dwayne, and he was supposed to be a younger individual who's being mentored and learning about the mountains from Wayne, which is kind of like, that kind of makes you sound stupid, but it wasn't. It was kind of true, but
Well, it's
not
kinda
really
true,
true.
yeah.
I was more the veteran of the two of us.
Absolutely.
But I'm not going to take anything away from his knowledge and background of what he did in the mountains. But it kind of was that role, and then Deleel fills that, but Deleel was basically a dumbass because he didn't know anything about rocks even.
Nope.
Because when we were in the mountains, that was his role. Was he would the geology. Generally, Randy would explain the geology to me, which I'm better now. But then I also have a guy that took geology classes at college, so now I'm even
And Frank
better.
and Woody.
And
But
Frank
and Woody. But yeah, the point was we relied on different things. We had different viewpoints. I don't think we've ever had an argument in 20 years ever.
No, but we have
Differences
a lot
of
of
opinion.
polar opposite viewpoints, but it works out good because we keep each other in balance.
Randy was a stoner. Little bit, not deep stoner.
No.
Into the stone maps, like he was crazy and had like shelves of stuff, and everything was a stone map. And I messed with you over it constantly. Like,
Well-
look at that heart.
When I first saw them, I thought they were cool, and then I eventually realized they're not. They're fake. 100%.
But we spent a good 15 years going through these mountains. We never had an argument. We had days we literally hiked through these mountains and never even talked.
Yeah.
We just were like, maybe 100, 200 feet away from each other the whole day, waving at each other, taking pictures of each other as we went through the mountains.
Yeah.
But it's weird because we never had a crossword, never had anything bad to say about each other. And everybody knew us as one. We were like, kind of like,
It's like Wayne
what
and
do they
Randy.
call it? Benifer? Yeah,
No,
it was
let's
Wayne.
Let's not do that. No.
It was Wayne and Randy or Randy and Wayne. That was it. But
was
all the
always Wayne
time.
and Randy,
That's
yeah.
how you knew who we were.
Everybody talked about us as a kid.
Yeah, we were kind of like a weird couple. And they would tell us about stuff, and we would go out and look at it in the mountains. But that was the basis of the TV show.
Mm-hmm.
And then they got their creative a hold of it. And Randy is going to explain why he never showed up now, because I don't have no clue still this day.
Showed up to the show?
Yeah.
I didn't. They didn't want me there.
Did they tell you that, or they just quit
No,
going?
I don't know. I was a little salty about it, so I really didn't want to go, and
You were salty?
a little salty.
The very thing you accuse me of being constantly in life. Oh, come on, you have to do it. Please, you have to do it.
Well,
and then you decided to take on my personality and not show up.
Not show up, yeah. It was just, it was a little awkward because
Son, please cover your ears.
I was...
Cover your ears for a minute. You fucking bastard.
I was
Okay, you
supposed
can
to-
uncover now.
I was supposed to be on the show, and I wasn't, so it was a little awkward. I didn't want
It was weird
It was
because
weird.
you were
And
telling me
that's
just
why I
stay
didn't-
and hang in there because I was ready, like, you're not doing this. Why am I here? I don't even know. McChesney was there.
Well,
But
you're
I
not
really
gonna-
didn't know anybody that well.
I'm
And
not
I'm
going to
like,
let you back out. I mean, that was a good opportunity.
Plus,
You're
think
not getting out of it.
Think of what would have happened if you weren't there.
Yeah.
and then everybody acts like, well, you got a TV and you got a big ego and shit. No, it's Randy's
No,
fault.
It's all my fault. I take
I did
full
not want to
responsibility.
do it 100%. I said, we'll get them locations.
Yeah.
We'll tell them places they can go. We'll introduce them to people. And they kept, and then you said, let's do it. And I said, finally, I understood your thought.
Yeah.
Because we're getting older, it would be cool to do something like, and you quoted and said it's like Sims Ely and Jim Bark and the Lost Dutchman Mine about their partnership.
Exactly.
So let's put the end note and the end cap on our partnership. The cornerstone would be we did this TV show.
Right.
And then it failed and only did one season because Randy didn't show up.
That's because I wasn't there.
I think it would have been better. It would have been cool. Because there would
Deleel's a good character, though.
Deleel's
He's a
an
good
awesome guy. And
he's got great
I love
personality.
Eric, and Eric is a bit like you the first year or two we started going to the mountains.
I'm sure.
He was very much like that to some degree. He's very good-natured, which you are.
Yeah.
He doesn't get the headaches like you get.
Yeah, that sucks.
You got to bring if you go with Randy, it's bring sunglasses, make sure he wears a hat, and bring Excedrin.
Lots of ibuprofen.
And make sure he drinks water. Because that's like one of the common things is we get in the middle of nowhere and we're climbing and he's like, I got a migraine.
So I bring ibuprofen. You bring McDonald's and cigarettes.
And people might not believe those stories, but we can get to the middle of nowhere on the top of something and I pop a Dr. Pepper and a sausage McMuffin. And Randy's sitting there eating trail mix and you can tell he realizes how the trail mix is such a bad idea because we're doing the same exact thing, but I got good, tasty food because I firmly believe that you eat what you eat.
That's true.
Don't change your diet. If you don't drink water a lot, don't go out in the mountains and drink a ton of water
Oh yeah, then you.
because it'll mess you up. Yes. So people that have problems, remember the time you went out with Howard and he had to pack you out on his horse?
Well, yeah, it was 110. That was a whole different kind of problem. It was literally 110. Howard's like, hey, let's go check out this hole.
Howard's like, I don't know about that, Randy.
It's not too far.
I realized he was a goner. I had to put him up on the horse.
Almost passed out. How does he? But he was sitting on his horse.
Howard's like, you go, see that ridge over there? Yeah. Okay, so it's about just over that ridge, about a quarter mile. Yeah, about that.
Yeah.
And then you get over the ridge, and then you find out later it's like 4 miles over that ridge. So you ended up like going for this massive. Yeah, he had no idea of judging distance.
Yeah, and he's sitting on the horse.
And then he'd always say
He's
things
not
like, "Well, you're the
climbing
one
stuff.
that said it.
Yeah.
You're the one that said it.
Right.
You pointed, and I just agreed with you. But you're the one that knows." Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was Howard. And we love Howard. Awesome.
We miss
awesome
Howard.
dude. We miss him. Old Howie.
Howard and his hat.
Howard and his old hard hat. So, but no, we had a lot of great trips, and I talk about some of them. But I leave a lot of those out. We did the Bluff Springs one. We showed the footage we did on that.
That was a cool
And
day.
going up in there. But
That was a lot of
of
fun.
the stories are kind of personal, and maybe sometime we'll get together and do this again, and we'll talk a couple of these trips we made in depth, where he can tell his side, because I never want to do it like I'm bashing you. Remember when we were in the day site mine and you didn't bring a flashlight? Yeah, that'll be for another time, but
Yeah.
they're stories that people would take badly if you weren't there.
Right.
They're funny stories, and it was funny.
Right.
But it was always throw Randy down the hole, throw Randy in the hole, send him in there. It's like, I'll never forget your quavering voice down in the tuning mine when you went,
Yeah.
"There's a skunk in here, and he doesn't look happy."
Skunk was best. Could you imagine getting hosed by a skunk in a mine shaft?
I didn't have to ride home with you that day, so I didn't care.
That would have been disgusting. Skunk would have probably killed us both.
But we had good times in the mountains.
Yeah.
And there were bad
absolutely.
times. We go through things in life where there were bad times, but we still went in the mountains together on those bad times
It
too.
was still enjoyable.
Yeah,
I
we
wouldn't,
had a-
I wouldn't trade a minute of it.
And
for
you
anything.
have to go look back at how long ago, how big this kid in front of us with the camera was.
Yeah.
When you first met him and he started going out with us a little
He was
bit.
about,
Yeah, about
He
that.
was about his age.
about
Yeah.
his age, maybe. a
Yeah,
little-
so
little
it's
older,
crazy because it's Rando and Wayno,
but- Yeah.
and it's Wayno and Rando Juniors.
Yeah.
So you guys, that's what your guys' legacy is here in about 20 years. You guys hook up and start taking trips out here.
Yep.
And go back to all the spots that we leave you papers on, right?
And you can't tell anybody.
Yeah.
They're all
But wear a
secret.
hat and sunglasses and bring Excedrin, because it's probably genetic, kid.
Yeah.
Does that mean I'm gonna start smoking
No.
and drinking Dr Pepper in the middle of the mountains?
Probably.
I'm not gonna be smoking.
No, just nobody can get over the fact is I wear tennis shoes and I smoke cigarettes.
I wear tennis shoes.
And yeah, I just freaking do what I do. But no, I always wore tennis shoes and I've never had a sprained ankle or anything.
You never
have.
struggled. There was
No.
never anywhere you didn't go. There was never.
Oh no, I wouldn't send you anywhere that I wouldn't go.
No.
I mean,
But-
generally you were the thinner, smaller person at the time.
Right.
You've gained weight, I've gained weight.
Yeah.
But at that time you were like featherweight.
Right.
So it was easier to have Randy wiggle in spots, but it was never I was going to endanger you because even if you didn't go, I would go eventually. I'd get pissed off and just say, and I would never say anything, but I would just kind of go, and then you not always were very happy that I was abandoning you. But we always got out of the mountains too.
Yep. We survived every one.
Survived some big storms, cold weather.
That
Remember
was-
the time we
that
came
was
out of
a
the
fun-
mountains and
fun day.
we took off our jackets and stuff at the trucks and we had steam coming off of us because it was like 32 degrees and it was raining, sleeting all day and we were out in
Oh.
it and then we got back to the vehicles and we were steaming.
Yeah.
So overheated.
That was my favorite trip.
That was one of the best trips and I got some great pictures because the mist and everything for the camera, everything has a misty circle around it.
Yeah.
So it looks like you're out in this weird mist walking out in front of me and stuff.
Very dramatic.
Then I remember the time you bought that big camera.
Oh
You
yeah.
had that big camera bag and stuff.
Yeah, that was.
And it took you like 50 minutes to set up every shot.
Yeah.
So I'm like waiting on you the whole time. It's like, okay, come on.
I had to carry that heavy.
And then
camera around.
halfway through the trip, you're complaining about the camera bag. Yes.
That was not a smart decision.
And there's still a couple jugs of water down at the cross section of Needle Canyon and coming up out of Bark Canyon because you buried them and then couldn't find them when we ran out of water.
I will never find them. They're gonna
He
be there
hit him,
forever.
went out. I'm going to go hide these so when we need water. And then we ran out of water one time in the mountains.
Yep.
And then Randy's
Can't
out there
find the
forever.
jugs.
I'm sitting there forever thinking, man, we're going to have some water. And then Randy could never find the water. So there's water buried out there somewhere.
Don't drink it if you find it.
What'd you do? It should
Well,
be fine. It's water. It's in plastic containers.
15 years old.
It's still water. Nothing got
Doesn't
in
rot.
it. No, water don't rot. What is wrong with you? Why would water in a container rot that's sealed?
Oh, it's true. It's sealed.
Yeah, it's sealed. If you're dying, you better drink the water.
If you're
in the
dying, drink
tank.
it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because
You're
even if
that
you get
thirsty.
sick, you're still alive.
I mean, you're going to be able to get out. And what is the worst going to happen to you if that water goes a little bad? You're just going to have diarrhea the next day. I don't think it's
Yeah.
going to be that big of a deal.
At least you'll make it out.
But I thank you for coming out today.
Yeah.
Because this was awesome. It was good to get back out. It's been a long time. And we've been through a lot.
That we have.
Yeah, been through a lot. And
A lot
it's
of fun
just-
stuff.
A lot of stuff changed. Some of the stuff was not fun. But we made it through with a friendship.
Yep.
That carries on to this day. And it's like we just pick up. We hadn't seen each other for a while. We talk occasionally. And then just boom, we come out and it's just the Wayne and Randy show again.
There we go.
And that was the cool thing about it is I think for some unknown reason, we just ran into each other and started coming out here. And I think it was everyone else, there was trips, they were fun, they were this, they were that. But each other, we always had a good time.
Yeah.
And we never had, it was always some sort of adventure and something kind of into it. And I'm sorry
Yeah.
for sending you through the portal today, hoping you'd disappear because,
Well,
but that would have been cool.
I'm sorry nothing happened.
Yeah. So Randy did not die on Horse Mesa.
Nope. I'm alive.
No,
Or me.
No, you didn't.
JR's
No.
still here too.
Yeah, so he's still here. He's still here. I'm still here.
You
And
didn't
that's
even
it.
go through the portal.
You didn't. You sat in the portal, though. You know what's going to happen?
What?
You're going to start hearing voices tonight from the reptilian creatures.
Oh, stop.
Yes.
The
The lizard
people.
men are going to get in.
I already do.
You already hear. See, he's already hearing voices from the lizard people.
I
This is just
randomly
going to
hear
magnify
voices.
it, dude.
Oh.
Okay. We need to have you on more often.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. no.
Actually, I would love to be on camera.
You are on camera right now.
I mean, more often.
More often? You want
But
us to
just
break
not
this
up.
up? You want us to break this up into multiple episodes?
Yes.
Okay, we'll have to just.
Why don't
we'll
we
make
just
you a TikTok.
Why don't we just make you the star? You can take his job.
Yeah.
Yay!
Yeah.
You
Why don't we make a
gotta learn how
TikTok
to
of
hike.
you?
I can't be on TikTok.
Oh, you can't be on TikTok, but your dad could or mom could show you TikTok, right?
They won't let me.
They won't even show it to you.
No, he's not allowed to have TikTok.
Okay, we won't
but
even
he
go
can
into that.
He can see.
Did
a
you do something
If you
bad?
put a TikTok short on
Did you
there, I'll
get in
show
trouble?
I haven't even. I've never been on.
You know what
TikTok.
his middle name is?
What?
Trouble. So don't worry about it. We all get in trouble.
Randy Trouble, right?
That's
Yeah,
it.
that was it. Yeah, that was one of the many names.
Yeah, let's not go into that.
So there you go. So here we are. Cool site. It was a cool site.
Beautiful day too.
Have no idea. Yeah, blue skies, nice weather, cool. Too bad Greg didn't make it. It would have been pretty awesome to have Greg Davis out here with us as well.
Yeah, he could have identified some of these rocks. 'Cause-
Well, his problem was he can't figure it out, I think.
oh,
And he wanted more people to come out to kind of explore the area even more.
get ideas. Yeah.
But I think all it is it's like the spiral staircase,
Mhm.
which we're doing the videos on.
Right.
And it's this weird thing, and I'm going to come back to that in a second, but it's this weird thing out here where I don't really understand how it all works together. Doesn't seem like feel hohokam
Yeah.
and Apache, and it's like, is it ceremonial? Is it initiation? Is it just some wild, crazy hippie guys? But that doesn't make
No.
sense either, because we'd find
That-
broken wine bottles or something ridiculous. There's no
Yeah.
fire. The fire rings have never been used.
Yeah. That's
So
the weird part.
if it was ceremonial, I would think there would be fire or something. They would have done something. And so it's just crazy. Now, on the spiral, I mentioned, and I don't know if it was in this last episode, but I knew about the spiral, and then you found out about it. And I don't know if you remember how you learned about it.
Nope.
But you talked about going out to it, and I don't know if you did or if we did, or if you did, then we did. All I know is I went out to it one time. I didn't think much. You brought it up. I was like, I don't know what it is, dude. It's not a mine. It's not this. It's very cool. It's very mysterious. It's an enigma that just blows this out of the water. But I'm trying to remember how that played out. It had to be around 2004 or 5 that you brought it up.
Yeah, I had heard about it through somebody in the Dutch community, and I mean, you know, in your imagination in your head, it just sounds fascinating, right?
It's like a 300-400 foot tunnel that's underground.
It's
At
insane.
the end, and there's a pit, and you go down in it, and it goes down, and Shoes even went down to the staircase.
Mhm.
It is a staircase in the granite that does a spiral 125 feet in the ground.
That's the crazy
It
part.
makes no sense whatsoever. There's very little pottery. We found that chisel from the late, I don't know if you watch our videos, you probably don't because you don't care. I'm hurt.
I watched some of them.
But anyways, the last two have been really good, and they're going to tell this story about all this stuff. But we found that chisel, but it doesn't make sense. Who used it? Who was using it for what? And what time period? And it's a very cool thing because there's so many different people involved over the last 100 years with it. And then Shoes even said it's a hallucination. Everybody sees something different with it. He says it makes no sense. He thinks it could be Aztec or Mayan.
Huh.
But what was its purpose, you know? And so it's cool. But I didn't remember how that all played out. I just remember you mentioning it to me after I told you, I don't know what it is, but
What?
it's not worth the hike.
It was one of those things I heard about and asked you about because you probably knew about it. Because you know everything.
But I don't know if you went out to it.
No, I've never been there.
Okay. Maybe that's a hike. It's a little more than this, but it's not bad. But it's just a mind-blowing sight. It's a place. If we would have went out there and followed it up, we would have went down it.
Yeah.
At that time,
Absolutely.
we definitely would have.
We
It's probably in
went-
better shape then too.
We climbed through everything.
If it's 1,000 years old, it's been in the same shape for
That's
100
true.
years.
If
That's
it's
true.
built in the rock, it's...
Well, no, it's in alluvial, the tunnel.
Oh.
It's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, it's collapsing. So,
Oh. We need to go see it then.
well, you'll get to see it if you want to watch it on YouTube on Legend of the Superstition Mountains,
I started watching the
season 5.
first, because it's like 2 or 3 episodes, isn't it? Spiral Staircase. I started watching.
We started it on
first
season
one.
4, and then we just started new one season that's going to pretty much talk about that stuff and kind of envelope how all these guys that are from Burns Ranch, Ward's Cabin, and all these different people are involved and talk about the history of it. So we're kind of unfolding it as we're trying to pull what we can. information. It's one of these weird things that everything that seems bullshit keeps coming up like, oh, that really is. And it doesn't make any sense. So it just puzzles you. Oh, there's a seal and we broke the seal and there was like sand for like, it took us 2 years to clear out.
Oh,
And then you're standing on a pile of sand that's just pure sand. So where did it come from? They didn't haul it up in bucket. Well, they had to fill it, but the guys that dumped the sand, well, it's reality because the sand is actually there on the ground outside the pit.
Well, the natives didn't mess with sand. That was Egyptian.
But who would? Yeah, but Egyptians, Aztecs, Mayans.
Well, there's stories of potentially Egyptian in the Grand Canyon. Obviously, you're familiar with that story. And then I've heard theories of.
This is where I look into the camera with that puzzled thing of like, where did Randy lose his fucking mind? But Egyptians. We haven't put that one in. We had the Templars, we had the Masons, we had the Latter-day Saints, the Aztecs, the Mayans, Hopi origination story. Sal believes it's extraterrestrial technology.
Absolutely.
He says, like 5 million years ago, a spaceship crashed there. And that's what's underneath.
That's what it is.
So,
100%.
well, we know if Salvador says it, it must be true.
True story.
Salvador does not lie.
Anyway.
Anyhow, so this will probably be a good Chasing Legends. So
There you
we'll
go.
probably do that for Chasing Legends. How long we been talking?
20 minutes.
Yeah,
21
okay,
minutes.
so we can do that for Chasing Legends. So from Randy Wright, from JR, right? Yep, I got it right this time, kid.
J.R. Wright.
JR Wright. So the Wrights, the Tuttles, and all of us here, remember always that I'm Wayne Tuttle. Nobody else here is. Well, like technically he is, but I'm Wayne Tuttle, you're not. And this was, say it, boys.
Chasing Legends.
Chasing Legend.
Well, that worked out really well.